Two coaches who worked at Austin area gyms are under investigation by the national group that governs the sport of gymnastics. This month, USA Gymnastics restricted the coaches' contact with underage athletes.
And it is important to note neither has been charged with a crime. And in a new development earlier tonight, one coach has been removed from the suspension list. KXAN's Hyder Rahman spoke with former gymnasts who say that they're hoping for accountability.
Starts innocently, right? I mean, you win at a meet, of course you get more hugs, of course you get more praise. The problem is when boundaries get crossed.
Chantal Aguirre and Sierra Hill were athletes of Capitol Gym in Austin between the ages of 9 and 16. They spent most of their time a decade ago with Coach Barry Hyder.
For him specifically, it was much more common in the hands of track rests or butt typically is where it would go.
On Tuesday, Aguirre filed a complaint with USA Gymnastics, which works in tandem with the U.S. Center for Safe Sport for sexual misconduct cases.
It's just weird.
Another former gymnast, Abby Hillis, filed a complaint about the same coach on July 8th. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport reported her case to police last week. She talked about her experience in a podcast.
One of the biggest memories of inappropriateness that I have with him is that he would ask us to bounce up and down on the trampoline so he could watch our boobs bounce.
Hyder is now listed as a coach in Arkansas. This month, he was placed on USA Gymnastics suspension list, indicating he's not allowed to have unsupervised contact with minors. USA Gymnastics tells us an interim measure like this one is not a finding of wrongdoing, but rather a precautionary measure, while an investigation continues.
That caveat doesn't mean anything to the general public. The general public sees a suspension from the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, and they immediately believe that whatever happened is true.
Attorney Russell Prince is not connected with Barry Hyder. He represents Jeffrey Beal, who founded Olympia Hills Gymnastics in Buda. Beal confirms he's under investigation by Safe Sport for inappropriate conduct in 1993 during his tenure at Karolyi Gymnastics, and says the allegations are completely false. USA Gymnastics put Beal on the suspension list just last week. His attorney says Beal was not contacted before being suspended.
The problem isn't to detract from claimants. That's not what we're attempting to do. What we simply want to try to get to is a place where there is a fair balance with how the process plays out on the front end.
The attorney told us late Wednesday the measures against Beal were lifted and he's off the Safe Sport list. However, the investigation remains open. Hyder did not respond to multiple attempts to reach him.
Barry Hyder
is not available.
Aguirre and Hill say they hope by speaking out they can change the club culture.
And I love being able to do things that made me feel powerful. And I want other people to have that positive experience without the negative.
Hyder Rahman, KXAN News.
And the attorney for Jeffrey Beal tells us their next step is to interview with Safe Sport and prove all of his exculpatory evidence. Now, the owner of Capitol Gym, that's where Barry Hyder used to work, says, quote, "We have no knowledge of the issue regarding Mr. Hyder's suspension. If needed, we are prepared to cooperate fully with any investigations related to this matter."